Kept you waiting, huh?
Hey guys, I'm back, and it's only been 37 days since my last upload. And I recently remembered that I had a Twitch account, so I'm gonna try to stream on there more often. I haven't decided what I want to stream first. I mean, I streamed a little bit of Overwatch. That's only because I was playing it with my friends. If y'all want me to stream anything, just let me know in comments. I'll be sure to do that. And don't forget to press the like and subscribe button. But y'all already were gonna do that, right? Yeah, you guys were gonna press it. But yeah, Capcom was cooking with this one. So RE9 has just released, and let me tell you, it's pretty good. I think it's in my top 3 Resident Evil games of all time now, behind RE4 original and Resident Evil 2 remake. But that game is just peak, and this is the best Resident Evil game of all time, and I will not hear it. I'll not hear anything otherwise. I've gotten both endings for the game, and also letting y'all know, the first portion of the video is more gonna be like an overview of the game. I'm not gonna really be talking about story stuff, more or less just like gameplay and stuff that happens during gameplay. Like maybe like a few story stuff here and there, like maybe basically like describing what happens during a cutscene, but that's really about it. I'm not gonna go into like lore unless y'all want like a video, like a separate video for that, but this video isn't really that. Obviously, story spoilers, so if you don't want any of that, you could always just skip till later in the video. I should have a timestamp, or I might make chapters. I'm not entirely sure yet, but when the video comes out, you'll see. But you could just skip to that portion of the video if you don't want to have an entire overview of the game and just want to get straight to the review. But until then, I hope y'all enjoy. Alright, Resident Evil 9 Requiem, the third game of the new trilogy of Resident Evil games, stars the Requiem, Grace Ashcroft, and the return of Leon S. Kennedy. At the ripe old age of 51, and he is still doing roundhouse kicks, still aura farming, but much hasn't changed outside of the fact that he's been infected by a strain of the T-virus, probably by that creepy ass tall dude, and that our new character Grace has something to do about it. Also, Sherry's here too, and it's pretty cool seeing her in a new numbered entry. Hopefully we'll get to see other new characters, right, Capcom? So the game opens with Grace, an FBI agent, being given a mission, and is sent to Renwood to investigate the burned and abandoned Renwood Hotel. And we're shown a flashback to where a few years ago in the past, she was with her mom, and somebody who totally isn't infected by anything shows up and kills a dude, and then Grace's mom is like, something big is happening, but you can't know yet, and I'll tell you eventually, but right now, we need to escape, but then she fucking dies. Which in my opinion, I think all of these games have goofy as fuck openings, like, RE9, your mom fucking dies, RE8, no! Chris shoots your wife, and what? RE7.
But she's back somehow. Maybe it's a prank.
Bruh.
She wants me to come and get her.
Anywho, creepy dude named Dr. Victor Gideon puts Grace in a dark as fuck room while hanging her upside down while being hooked up to an IV. Now this is where we meet one of the many stalker enemies of Resident Evil 9. There are a few in this game, but Marie's the first one we run into, also known as the girl, by the way. She also hates lights, not because she's a shut-in bum like Asmongold, but because it literally melts her skin. Anywho, after that first section, Leon arrives at the Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Center, but that's honestly a mouthful and I stutter a lot, so I'm just gonna call it the Care Center. Anyways, Leon 6 Kennedy is gridded into the Care Center by a nurse, and is subsequently killed while Leon is being nonchalant because Ada might be watching or something.
Rest in peace, my granny, she got hit by a bazooka, yeah.
We then have a combat section, and once that's over, we run into Grace being pulled in by the girl. He then proceeds to save Grace by killing it, and then gives Grace the Requiem with one fucking bullet, and then proceeds to get captured by Victor Gideon. So this part of the game leaves us exploring the Care Center as Grace, and her gameplay is a lot like Ethan from RE7, rather than 8, because 8 is like more action focused than 7, and Grace's gameplay is usually more horror focused than Leon's more action focused gameplay. Also, as Grace, resources are a lot more streamlined, requiring blood and whatever else is needed to build something like healing items, ammo, or shivs. And they're not that hard to come across by any means. The game literally just leaves like buckets of blood in places, or whenever you kill an enemy or shoot an enemy's limbs off, you can like grab blood from them with the blood collector, of course, that you do get from exploring the care center. And you get so much of it. I almost got done with the blood collector challenge in one playthrough. Anyways, head to the guard's office where you'll see a staircase. Head down it. You'll get a cutscene where you meet Emily and you watch this dude fucking die. He has a key card, grab it, then head to the east wing of the care center. In the east wing, where you run into the butcher, and he's kind of like he's one of the pseudo stalker enemies of the game, and he is killable as Grace. It does require a lot of effort to kill him though, especially if you don't have Requiem rounds. So I'd recommend just either running past him on your first playthrough, or if you really want to, you can kill him. And for killing him, you get the key to the butcher's pantry, where you can get a charm and some rewards. After dealing with the butcher, head to the second floor, grab the pistol, enter this room, walk in on this couple arguing, kill the couple, do this puzzle, and grab the first quartz, which we need 3 of to escape the care center. Then, grab a box with a red jewel and head back down to the parlor. Open the door, where there will be a dead body holding the West Wing key.
Weird. How do people normally get in here?
In the West Wing, there will be a dead body with its, chest opened up, and it's missing lungs and a heart. The lungs are in the basement, and the heart is in a freezer. But first, we head up the stairs of the West Wing to grab the level 1 wristband that gives us access to more areas of the care center, which also allows us to get the lungs, and the wrench that gives us access to the heart. After grabbing the wristband, you do also run into the chunk. He is kind of annoying when you're trying to get from like one place to the next, but I'd recommend killing him because you do get this really good charm that will help you a lot during Insanity difficulty. Almost forgot, but if you head back to where you first run into the chunk, there's a room with a few zombies and a singer. You could run past them or clear them out. I personally would clear them out. But at the end of the room, there's a bottle of acid that we can use to get the second piece of quartz. We also get a cutscene with Gideon, and he talks about Grace's destiny or something.
Grace! There's no escaping your destiny.
Bruh.
Dead zombies can now come back as blister heads, and you genuinely need the Requiem to reliably take them out because they don't go down. But once you put the organs back in the body comes back to life, and we kill it to get the second level wristband.
Of course it gets up.
Which opens up the isolation ward and the security manager's office. That'll give us a level 3 wristband so that we can get Emily to do the last puzzle for us, because Grace can't read Braille. After leaving Emily in the room to do the puzzle, we have to defend her from zombies and blister heads, which honestly isn't too bad if you saved up on ammo. So, do that. And after you clear out all the enemies, Emily will tell you when she's done, so you're able to go back into the room. And she is captured by the girl, and then jumps into the basement, which ends Grace's first portion of the game. This part of the game was really strong, and it reminded me a lot of Resident Evil 1 with the Spencer Mansion and the RCPD with RE2. It's a long section with plenty of secrets, and every single time I play through it, I always find something new. So yeah, pretty good first section of the game, and leaves me hyped for the rest. Okay, we are now done with our first section of the game, and we are now playing as Leon. Now this portion isn't too long. Basically, Leon frees himself after being captured, and you get a pretty easy boss fight against the chunk. He's kind of just a bullet sponge, and I recommend picking up the Marksman 1A. It fucking shreds him, and it shreds basically every single other enemy in the game. So be sure to pick it up. After finishing that boss fight, you then gain access to the rest of the care center as Leon. And if you kill everything as Grace, your run through will be pretty easy peasy. But we have to head head to Gideon's office, where we have to hold out from a bunch of zombies and blister heads, and Leon drops another one-liner.
Well, that's my cardio for the week.
We now switch back to Grace as she jumps into the hole to go save Emily from the girl. We are now in the care center's basement. On my first playthrough, I thought I would really hate this section of the game, but as I kept replaying the game for this video, I started to like it a little bit more, maybe because I just ended up warming up to it, but I thought it would be one of those sections where I would hate on subsequent playthroughs. Basically, we have to get all 3 plugs to open up the cells so we could get Emily and the final quartz piece. Like I said, it isn't too long. Also, the first step for the final puzzle starts here at the conveyor belt, but this isn't a guide for that, and there's tons of videos online that go over it. But after getting the last plug, we get Emily and escape the basement, and we finally make it out of the care center, which leads us to a helicopter. So now we're looking for a key inside of an underground secret lab. Now this section isn't super long, it's like a good 5 to 10 minutes. This section is really fucking cool. You're running through like a secret lab that's literally falling apart as zombies are getting up and like walking towards you, and you use this fire extinguisher to like mow them down and they fucking explode. It's cool. But we then run into Gideon, and he's talking to somebody named Zeno. Now, I'm not gonna say much about Zeno right now. You'll hear more about him later, but let's just say, I'm not happy with him. We get the fuck out of there and make our way to the helicopter, where we'll totally make it out, because nothing ever goes wrong with helicopters. But nobody ever guessed that the helicopter would fucking crash. And the only black character to take part in the story fucking dies. And Emily also gets gravely injured, leading us into the next part. Now the perspective switches back to Leon, and we have to defend Ashley while she tries to get Emily back to safety. It's not too bad. All the enemies die in one hit anyways, so it's not that hard, even on like the hardest difficulty. But on Insanity, it does spawn enemies like around you, so there is some challenge with that. After that, we have another combat section against a Blisterborn. After killing it, we switch back to Grace and we get a boss fight with the girl. Honestly, it's not too bad unless you're on Insanity difficulty. Then when you get grabbed, you basically die instantly. But to beat her, we need to turn 3 switches to open the roof, and that'll literally melt her alive with sunlight. And when she tries to regenerate, just shoot her once with the Requiem, and that'll literally end the boss fight. But remember when I said Emily was injured? Yeah, she almost fucking dies, and she transforms into this giant flesh monster, and Leon comes in to put her down, and Grace gets angry and mad at Leon. But it's low-key valid at the same time. It's like, I get why you're mad, but I get why Leon had to do it. So Grace runs off, and she runs into Gideon and Zeno, which also ends the first half of the game. And now we're in the next half of this game, and we get to be playing as Leon for basically most of it. We return to a rundown and abandoned Raccoon City, and the first thing we get to do is fight a giant spider. And honestly, at first, I thought I would hate this boss fight, but honestly, it's actually pretty fun. I don't know how other people feel about it, but I think it's pretty cool. And it's not even that hard either, so it's a pretty cool and fun boss fight. After killing it, we see a gate that we can blow up. Now, this section of the game is super combat heavy, and I mean, we are going to be playing as Leon, so of course there's going to be a fuck ton of enemies. And it's not a complaint, because Leon's gameplay in this game is beautiful. And if you've ever played RE4 Remake, it'll remind you a lot of that game's gameplay. And I feel like RE4 Remake was just getting us ready for RE9. So you remember the door I was just talking about? Basically, we gotta get 3 parts so we could actually blow the door open. Now to get the first detonator part. But before we do anything, switch the power to the camp on, then head into the warehouse and fight through all the zombies to get to the roof to grab the first part. And if you look around, you'll see a door that requires a gas canister. We use the key that we grabbed from the warehouse to open the locked door next to the camp. Go inside the little area and then head to the garage there. Inside, there are going to be 2 fuses that we need to get to open the garage door. Get the 2 fuses, and we get a cutscene of BSA agents getting obliterated by Zeno. After the cutscene, shoot the ladder down to get inside the gas station so we can grab the gas canister. We then get another combat arena where it ends off with an armored zombie with a chainsaw. Kill him, and then fill up the canister with gas. Head back to the room with the BSAA agents, then head to the 2nd floor to drop down to get the crank. Go back up the stairs and head to the roof. It'll be defended by a bunch of zombies, and some of them will be on mortars, so be sure to take them out first. Grab the part and head back to the camp. To use the elevator to head up and use the gas can to open the previously locked door. Take the zipline across and do the next jumping section. After that is a combat section. Kill the zombies and pick up the final part, and you'll see a platform that's being held up by cables. To let it down, there will be 2 wheels that you have to turn. Once you're done with that, get on the platform, and then you'll have to defend yourself from zombies so you get the next cutscene. Head back to camp, and then there will be a giant metal container. Open it, and there will be a repair kit and a motorcycle. Use the repair kit to fix the detonator, and that'll be the end of this section. This next part is entirely on rails. It's pretty sick. Leon Aura farms, does some cool stuff, and he drives vertically up a skyscraper. And it ends with a standoff between Leon and Gideon. After that section, we run into a rundown RCPD. And yes, the same RCPD from Resident Evil 2. We get to explore the RCPD. Of course, not all of it, because most of it is run down and destroyed. But we run into Grace and Zeno. We also get a section where we play as somebody who looks a lot like Emily. I'm not gonna spoil any of the story stuff here, so if y'all want to go see that, watch a different video or play the game. Anyways, Mr. X is back, and he is as menacing as ever and just as cute. And I love me some RE2 call decks, because RE2 is my favorite Resident Evil game, because it's the best Resident Evil game. And we get one of the best boss fights in this game and in the last few games. I'm not saying this is the best boss fight, because the best boss fight hasn't appeared yet. And let me tell you, when you see Leon from Police Rookie to parrying fucking tyrants, it is so damn peak. It's so fucking peak, man. I fucking love this shit. And after that, we get the most mid-section of the game. It's just a bunch of vines, and I'm just joking. It's the worst boss fight of the game, and I fucking hate it. It's just a big plant. Anyways, moving on. We now enter the ARC facility, and we get one of the series' best and most challenging sections with elite soldiers and lickers. And let me tell you, they'll shoot you through walls. Bullets go through fucking walls in this section, and it's so frustrating, but it's so cool at the same exact time. And it works so well. And to top it off, we get one of the best boss fights in the series, and it reminds me a lot of the Resident Evil 4 Krauser fight, and it's so fucking cool, man. There's a lot to love about this section. The commander is sick, and he's really challenging, especially on Insanity difficulty. I died so many fucking times to this guy. We then run into Grace and Zeno, and here, oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about Zeno just yet. I'm so sorry, but okay, so we get this entire scene between Leon and Zeno, and then they fall into the trash disposal area, and you need to help Leon get up as well, and you need to get these 2 Fushigi orb things, whatever. But it's a nice section. You get to fight lickers and shit, and fighting lickers as Grace is not too bad. You could one-shot them with the acid bottles, but once you get the two Fushigi orbs, you get a cutscene. I'm not gonna spoil it. I'd rather you guys see it for yourselves. The game is still somewhat new, so I know a lot of people haven't gotten to play it yet. I'm not gonna say what happens, but it's a pretty big lore revelation for the entirety of the Resident Evil series. Then we switch back to Leon, and this will be our final combat section outside of the final boss with Leon. And it's pretty cool. I like it. It's not super long. You're just pressing a few buttons, killing some lickers, and then you get like one final combat room with some lickers and zombies, and then you go inside the elevator, and then you play as Grace one last time before you enter the final room. Here you can make two choices. You can either release Elpis, or you can destroy it. And this will dictate what ending you get. If you destroy Elpis, you get the bad ending where Xeno fucking obliterates Leon. I know. And it just kind of ends. You just kind of get a cutscene of Grace escaping, and it just ends there. It was really lackluster, and I fucking hate it, but it's good for speedrunning, so you don't have to do the final boss fight. So I guess there's some use to it. And when you release Elpis, you get the final boss fight, you get the cutscene, you get the epilogue. And the final boss fight's cool. You fight Gideon, and you get to see what happens to all the characters. Turns out Emily's alive because Leon didn't shoot her vital points, whatever the fuck that means. You see Sherry one last time, and they mention Chris. He's not there, but he's mentioned. But the guys from RE8, like his BSA squad, are there. They're pretty cool. It's nice to see them. But Loki kind of wish we got to see more Chris, because Chris is one of my favorite Resident Evil characters of all time. But yeah, it's a pretty nice ending. Thank you to all of those who made it this far. And just letting you guys know, this is the review portion of the video, and if you came here for this, well, here you go. Resident Evil 9 is genuinely a great game, and if I had to rank it, it'll probably be in my top 5, if not top 3, which my top 2 are Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 4, 2005 Resident Evil 4, not the remake. I like the remake, but it's not my favorite version of Resident Evil 4. I have 2 major issues with this game, gameplay-wise. There aren't any side modes yet. I was really hoping for a Mercenaries or Raid mode for post-game. Didn't get any of that, so I was really disappointed. I think we might get a Mercenaries or Raid mode in the future, and I would like to have multiple playable characters. I would like to see Chris, Chris being playable, or maybe even a playable Xeno, because Xeno just... We'll get to Xeno. Other than that mess, I really liked the fact that you could switch between first and third person. I more preferred the first person than I did third, mostly because I think I enjoyed it more when it was the first person because of the horror element. I think horror fits first person more than it does third person. I don't know, that's just me. I think being more confined to just your eyeballs makes horror work more than it does in third person. But there were really times where I just couldn't decide on which one to play with. Sometimes I would just switch between the two. It's really cool, and I hope they bring it back for future Resident Evil games. And I hope they bring it for 5, because a 5 remake or Code Veronica remake, because I think playing those games in first person would be really interesting. I don't know, it just seems cool. Another issue I kind of had with the story was I was kind of hoping to see other characters. Like, I wanted to see Ada back. I wanted to see that. And I was really hoping that she would be there, because I also really like Ada Wong, and I really like, Jill Valentine. I like Chris. I like all these characters, and only seeing Leon is great. I've seen Leon so many fucking times. I want to see other characters. And don't get me wrong, this might be y'all might think I don't want to see Leon in another game. I do. It's just I want to see other characters. I want to see Rebecca. I want to see Shiva. I want to see Chris. I want to see Ada. I want to see Jill. I want to see all these other people. And we've gotten so many games, I feel like, with Leon, because he is a very popular character, and I truly do love Leon. Everybody does. When you think Resident Evil nowadays, you usually think Leon, so I don't blame them. And when they do, because it's gonna be a win. It's not an if. When they do mercenaries mode, I do hope they bring back like older characters for it. Hell, maybe even let us play as the commander from the story mode. That'd be sick. And have him play like Hunk, because he's basically just Hunk. But yeah, I think that's it for like the gameplay sections. We're now gonna be talking about the biggest problem I have with this game, which is Xeno. Oh my god. Okay, so Xeno is the biggest disappointment I've had in a Resident Evil game for a very fucking long time. I genuinely hoped that he would be the final boss. And I really hoped it would be a lot like the Resident Evil 5 Wesker fight, but with Leon and RE9's gameplay, and it would have been so fucking sick, and he just gets fucking killed off by Gideon. I was so fucking disappointed. I genuinely thought we would get like the coolest fucking boss fight in any Resident Evil game, and I was left very disappointed. Don't get me wrong, Gideon is a cool final boss, but I really hoped it would have been Xeno. Like, oh my god. Like, it could have been perfect. This game could have taken the Resident Evil 4 spot for me, but they wasted Xeno, and I don't doubt that there will be like another Wesker clone, because he is probably just a Wesker clone. It was kind of hinted towards that him being a Wesker clone. Like, I don't doubt we'll get like another Wesker type fight later, and we will be getting like an RE5 remake eventually, because I know it's gonna happen. That game is too popular for it to not be. But it was genuinely disappointing not seeing a Xeno fight, and he should have been the final boss, or the final puzzle should have had him involved or something like that. We could have got like a lore bit with him, but no, he just fucking gets killed off, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, imagine Wesker versus Leon would have been very interesting. Like, I really wanted to see that sort of thing. But it kind of just is what it is. I still like Resident Evil 9. I feel like there was just something missing to make it perfect. And that Xeno boss fight would have been perfect. But it is what it is. If I had to rank it, Resident Evil 2 Remake, RE4, RE9, then RE4 Remake. That's how I think right now. But I could change my mind in a few months from now. But I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching this. I know I haven't uploaded in a while, but I'm trying to get back on track. Life stuff's been happening, and if you've known stuff on the news, shit's been crazy here in America, so I'll see y'all next time.